Hello everybody. I am playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Let's just get right into it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright. Guess we're starting. Me personally, I have never seen anything on the Stanley Parable, so it's going to be interesting. That's weird.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Nobody was here. And then he exploded. Wait, what? Oh, it's not a mirror. I'm a dipshit. Hold up. Can I go over there? Nope.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do I enter the door on the left or the right? That's the real question. I guess I'll go left. Why not? 413. 412. That's got no number.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressive. Oh. Well, it moved. I wanted to read that. What do people want? Things. Money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs about things plus money. I don't think anybody wants a graph. I know I definitely don't want a graph. Graphs are silly. I don't like making graphs, to be honest. Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here,
I can't pick
so he
up the
turned
broom.
around and got back on track.
But I want a broom. I'm in the broom closet, but I can't
There was
pick up
nothing
a
here.
broom.
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I mean, I can count stuff. Got
It
a
was
wrench.
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Staring at the tape rolls, narrator guy.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
I'm bored.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because you won't let me pick up the broom, man. I just want the broom. That's all I want.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Yeah,
I never would have thought to mention it.
But what about the broom? It's the broom closet. The broom
Maybe
wants
to
out.
you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
It's fun.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's mad. That's real mad.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Is that it? I'm waiting for it to like force me out or something. Because that would be quite silly. Alright, well, I'm starting to think it's over, boys. Let's go back to the hallway. I'm a new me.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I don't like the red room. Let's go downstairs. Why? Just 'cause narrator's gay and silly and eats dick. What's this? I can't read that. That's too small. Fire hose. Hey,
But
look at
Stanley
car.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
Damn.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Goofy.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
What a
It was
psychopath.
comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wow. Oh, I'm back. Guess
All of
it's,
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
420.
Stanley went around
420.
touching every little thing in the
No.
office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fuck that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
One of these is bound to open. I'm sure of it.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Sure he did.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Also, sorry for not, like, talking, but, you know, got a narrator kind of expressing.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Everybody left Stanley because he's a loser. What a loser.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Can I read that? No, I can't. Still too small. Wow. Guess it's time to get going.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Boring.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
This looks like Portal. If I just fell off there. I almost just fell off there. Oh.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
What a loser.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oh, that's nice. Back I am yet
All of his
again.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Means yada yada yada. Yada rada rada. Rada rada. Schnitzel.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
Wow.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
If I just like...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
Alright,
ago.
anyways. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift. Well, if you jump off, you're dead.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
No, I won't. I am Stanley and I hate you. You're not my dead narrator guy. Shipment. Operator's manual. No buckets past this point. Is there a bucket that I can bring past this point? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's a bucket I can bring past that point. Alright, back to what I was doing. 2B4, 2B5.
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Oh.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Why the red door? What if I'm feeling blue? What if I just walk through, like, none of the doors? Oh, I can't. I guess blue. Fuck the narrator.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley
like the blue
walked
door.
through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
I don't like the color
You see?
red.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yes.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Sure.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option.
Oh my
This
God.
already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Should I just take the door on the left now?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I think it's kind of lazy that, you didn't finish your game. So,
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful.
it's great.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
The fuck? Rolled wide. Stanley. Wow. Friendship list is empty. Damn. Do you know that blah 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 blah? A dead rat. A dead rat is objectively ranked that. It's cool beans. Alright, let's see what's behind door number 3.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
No, actually.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Oh?
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail.
Fire.
It's a very meaningful game. All about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I wonder what we're gonna play.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley, and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
The Minecraft doors sound effect. I get to go and see the world.
Oh no.
Wow.
No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game.
Oh
Good
my
God,
God.
quickly block it off.
Oh, what?
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Let me out. This Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
This is crazy.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Here's the ball. Here's the ball. Guys,
Are
I'm
you
playing
doing it?
Rocket
Are
League.
you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. Hold on. What are you doing?
Huh. What's going on here?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Hooray, I get to speak. Alright, is this death? I genuinely can't tell. It's very dark. This way is also very dark. Guessing I need to go this way. Oh, no, I fell. This looks like a Gary's mod map. Guys, I swear I'm not playing Gary's mod again. Nothing. Maybe there's something this way. Door there. That brings me back over there. Got a bunch of titty lights on the ceiling. Yeah, there's a light on down there. Alright. 427. Let's see, what else can I do?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Oh, back yet again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. If he hollers, let it go. My mom chooses the very best one, and you are not it. Alright, guess I'll go this way. I'll go see the boss. Can you tell me where's the boss? The fuck?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The broom closet.
Oh no,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna stare at a broom. The broom closet. Do you think he'll say something if I wait long enough? Probably not. Yeah. So how was everybody's day today? My day was fine. I know, right? So cool and stuff. Guess I'll leave the broom closet. Can I go back? I can't. Oh, it's worth a shot.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
The boss. Where's the boss? Executive bathroom. Hey, look at bathroom. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. Oh wait, does that say say? Say that's a lovely purse. That's strange to write. Can I do anything in there? Extreme bathrooms. Alright. Got a chair. Got a desk here. At the boss. Yeah, it looks like average corporate art. It's probably what YouTube hangs on their wall sometimes. But what if I want to go up? Ding dong. What do you guys think happened to all of Stanley's co-workers? Do you think they imploded to a fiery mist? Actually, fiery mist wouldn't work. It would probably be a bloody mist or fiery ashes. I mean, maybe the narrator killed them all. The narrator's a murderer. Murder. Okay, are we almost there? Oh. Nothing happened. That's great. I genuinely didn't know that I was stuck in there. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to
wow,
discover
that's
not
here.
an indication of any human life.
Kitty.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad
Alcohol.
behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
I love
And so the
alcohol.
boss had assigned it
Totally.
an extra secret
actually,
PIN
I'm not-
number.
I'm not an alcoholic.
2845.
What?
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What if I don't? What if I just go back out here? I cannot go back out there. Link plus. Bill. The generator. Ooh, I can take the elevator. Or I can not do that. I generally wasn't expecting to be able to come back here. I just was like, what's back here? And then found this little crevice. Interesting, interesting. Surprised the narrator didn't yell at me for going back there. Alright, let's go up. Never mind. Guess we're going down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Oh, no,
It
I
was
threw
a
up.
stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he
Yeah.
felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
Average
Why
3
did he
thinker.
feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So-called free thinkers.
Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office?
Or
Well,
would it?
that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
What if I just go down? And I'm back.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator.
Or
It's still
is
just
it?
exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
Damn.
It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Are you, though? Oh. Oh, no. I'm stuck. I'm not stuck. Okay, I got out. Alright. Alright. Let's go back down.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I'm a smart fella. Real question is, do I go back up? Sure, why not?
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator.
Yes.
I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
The suspense. It's killing the narrator. Oh no, we gotta stop the suspense, guys. I'm gonna walk back to the office. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. It's the boss's office.
Try it again.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Wow. Please hold. I don't feel like it.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Oh.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Damn. Piano. Damn. Can't play it. Alright, let's go back downstairs. Hold up, I'm gonna check behind the box. Just for fun. Nope, nothing. Nothing still. There's nothing.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
Holy
I had
crap.
no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
I love repetitiveness. It's what makes the world the world. Don't worry, I'm going back up, guys. I'm going back up. Aw, is that it? Is it over?
You know what?
Oh, never mind.
I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill.
Yes.
Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Alright.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good,
my
we're
gosh.
here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
The storyteller. Stanley. Lives, the guy who went to Mars. How he did it. The pyramids. Everybody's all like, we can't build the pyramids. Yeah, huh? We could. Nobody wants to, though.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
This door? Okay, fine. Guess it's not that door. How come I can't go over there and see the ball? What if I just go back? Nothing. How unfortunate. That's devastating, and I'm devastated forever. And, I'm just devastated here. Doing great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
I don't think Stanley knows how to communicate. And he might know sign language. But who knows? Oh wow. All for me. So nice. Wow. Oh fuck. Well, back I am again.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Did he always say that? Oh no. I am kind of stupid, so I can't. I don't know. Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. Awaiting input. There.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Okay. I will enter the door on the left. Now I gotta look out for computers that say awaiting input.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh boy.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his
fuck
boss's
you.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Fuck. I can't look at the broom. Guys, I'm depressed now. I'm gonna cry.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
The boss. Probably not. No computers that say awaiting input. What about here? Nothing.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
I remember the
What could its
password he made.
purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Going down the elevator. This time, I'm going to stay down the elevator. And I'm not going to go back up the elevator. Why is that? Because portal.
Stanley walked straight ahead
That's
through
what
the
it looks
large
like.
door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ooh. Ooh.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh no.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh my gosh, it's death, guys. Sweet release. Oh, I'm not dead. Ow.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
There's gotta be like a way out, right? Come on, please.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant,
This is a
Stanley
woman.
was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Cool.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
Chris.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I don't know.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
That's sad. He was dead on arrival, boys. Filing cabinet. Office computers. The office. You got number 1, number 2, and number 3. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard strokes and synthesized tones. Why does one sound like that? Credits. Boing. If you want to read all that, you can. I'm not. Office clock. Boss office. It's all office-y.
Solve it. Here, I'm just gonna make this easy.
Alright, well, narrator's over there, so I'm gonna check out whatever's this way first. 'Cause fuck the narrator. 431, 436. So printer. I love printing things. Printer things. Warzone, huh? And open a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting the build. It to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Should have kept it, that would have been fun. Because I hate everybody that plays shooter games. Not gonna lie. That's a joke, by the way. I'm not actually. Narrator emails. Our second trailer was set out, and people tried to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we have found the perfect use for them. Here, our selection. Alright. I'm not reading all of these, genuinely. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Apartment timer. Something. Meeting room. Maintenance hall. What's over here? Got something. Sending model. Oh, this place is just a maze, huh? The trailers. Game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. The escape menu. Oh well. There was an attempt. And it didn't even let me play, so. Alright, let's see what's going on over here.
He traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice forever.
Huh. Never mind.
Nothing
Guess
there.
the narrator's... Narrator's not actually there, huh? Lounge underground. The narrator, who narrates things with his British accent. It's not actually that British, though, that's the thing. Well, it is British, but it's like... He sounds like Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear. That's the kind of British he is. Stanley's office. From left to right is the evolution of Stanley's office, which was created then, and then. It's gotten more and more messy over time. Wow, how crazy. How crazy is that? I can't believe it. And then that's the exit. I guess I'm exiting. Stanley Powerball.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Yeah. Stanley died. Everyone was like, what a loser. And I'm back. I think I'm gonna call it quits here. It's been a hot minute. I don't know how long of a hot minute, but it's definitely been a hot minute. That's kind of it. Peace.